my channel. Welcome back to another video. I'm Jessie and you're watching. So freaking excited, y'all. Welcome to my April Jessie's deck of TBR. Some of you might have noticed that I didn't upload a Jessie's deck of TBR for last month, which was March. And y'all, okay, you saw what I went through in my February TBR, right? Like, I needed a fucking break. I was so exhausted and traumatized from the incredibly long and challenging TBR that my cards picked for me in February that I just had to take March off. Y'all, like, I was struggling with my mental health.
No joke though.
And on top of it, I was like, it's just not realistic. We're not doing another one in March. So I have like personal stuff going on, which is the real reason why I didn't upload one. But I will be uploading my February wrap up for Jessie's deck of TBR, as well as my March wrap up for just the random books that I read. I'm still slowly piecing my life back together from been struggling over the last couple months with some personal stuff. Thank you for your patience. In case you're new here and you don't know what Jessie's deck of TBR is, I have a little playlist that you can check out. I'll have it linked down below and you can kind of get yourself more acquainted with what this is. But this is a TBR game that I play on my channel here to help me pick out books from this wonderful shelf behind me to read. This deck is full of cards and each card just has a different prompt on it that will kind of guide me toward what type of books to read. This is just a way to keep reading fun and exciting. It's a way to select books that maybe I wouldn't select otherwise and to just make it interactive. There are challenge cards in this deck, so I might have to do something really silly or embarrassing. For my February wrap up, I have to literally rap me talking about the books that I read. That was a challenge card that I pulled in February.
Can't wait to film that.
I'm gonna do this the way that we did last time, and I have these two purple and blue dice that I'm going to be rolling, and these dice are going to tell me how many cards from my Jessie's deck of TBR I need to pull. I am personally praying for a low amount of cards just because I'm still kind of recovering from who I am as a person, and also
the world's on fire
and I don't want to stress myself out unnecessarily. If you watched my previous videos, y'all know that I do get to give myself a re-roll. If I roll what I feel like is an unnecessarily high number, such as a 9, I get to re-roll and hopefully I can roll a smaller number like a 3. Kind of praying for a 3 this month. I have to go with whatever the second roll says. I can't just pick my favorite of the two. So if my second roll says I have to pick 12 cards from the deck, I've got to pick 12 cards from the deck. I'm not even gonna put that energy out there. Okay, our first roll is an 8.
Hell nah.
Nope, I'm not pulling 8 cards today. I want a 7 or lower. I dropped one.
That's what I get.
Okay, well, ugh, dang it, the dice keeps moving. I rolled a fucking
7.
I should have wished for something less than 7. I'm trying to be transparent. Okay, there you go. You can see that. I rolled a 5 and a 2, which means I have to pick out 7 cards from my Jessie's deck of TBR. I'm just praying for light, easygoing cards. Easygoing cards. That's what I want. So I'm gonna shuffle loosely. I'll do it where y'all can see. And then instead of shuffling after each and every card pull, I'm just going to shuffle and then pull 7 cards out and call it a fucking day.
I'm so scared.
1, let's just shuffle randomly. 2, 3, 4, 5.
Fuck, was that a challenge card?
God damn it. These are the 7 cards that will determine my April fate. All right, let's go with the first one. This because this is thriller card. Pick a thriller from your TBR. For January's Jessie's deck of TBR, because my cards arrived in the mail so late, I only pulled one card, and this was the card that I pulled. So I'm excited to have this card with a full TBR. And now it's time for me to find a thriller that I have to read.
I got 2 thrillers.
Let's see which one I'm in the mood for. Both of these I won in a Bookstagram giveaway. This one is Never Have I Ever by Jocelyn Jackson. And then this one is The Favorite Daughter by Kyra Ruda. This is about a woman who has a very, very orderly life. She's got her life exactly the way that she wants it. Most importantly, she runs a book club, and one day a mysterious woman shows up on her doorstep. The women are bonding over wine and laughing when the newcomer asks to play a game of Never Have I Ever. And so the book is basically about the newcomer having an agenda. She knows a very dark secret from our protagonist's past and is blackmailing her to get Amy, our protagonist, to pay for her sins. The Favorite Daughter is about a woman named Jane who is mourning the death of her eldest daughter, Mary. It's been exactly 1 year since Mary died, and Jane has hardly gotten out of bed or even left the house until now. As Jane begins to reintegrate into society, she realizes that her youngest daughter has become very dark and secretive, and one day she receives a mysterious letter informing her that her eldest daughter's death was no accident. I think I'm going to go with The Favorite Daughter. This sounds really, really good. And I especially love books surrounding grief because I'm a
Sick bastard.
If you've read either of these books, let me know. And if I find myself really wanting another thriller, I will definitely pick up Never Have I Ever. All right, it is time for our next card. I don't know why I'm shuffling because it doesn't really matter. Oh my God. Okay, this I can do because, yes, okay, this I can do. So I have pulled the foodie card. Read a book that centers food and prepare at least 2 meals from the story. Love to cook. It's something that I've incorporated into my Instagram a lot. I do a lot of recipes and cook with me over on my Bookstagram, but my mother was a chef, and so I've loved cooking ever since I was a child. It's something that I still get together and do with my mother to this day. So I'm really, really excited about this card. Oh, okay. I gotta see if I have a book that centers food on my shelves though. If I don't, I'll have to go over to my Goodreads and find one from my virtual TBR.
1 hour later.
All right, I have nothing on my shelves that centers food that I haven't already read. In preparation for these videos, I typed up my entire TBR, and for every book I put keywords in so that way I could make it easily searchable when I make these videos. So I have a Google Docs here that is just full of every single book on my TBR, and I searched the word food, and the only book that matches that description is The Vegetarian by Han Kang. The Vegetarian is a thriller about a woman living in Korea named Young Hai, and after she sees a bunch of gruesome images surrounding slaughterhouses, she makes the decision to abstain from eating meat. Except this has devastating repercussions for her very traditional marriage, and her simple decision to exercise the right to choose what she puts in or does not put into her body then sets off a chain reaction of devastating, violent, and haunting events. I've heard incredible things about this book, and I've also heard some middle of the road things about this book. So I am excited. It's a short one. I think it's about 200 pages. I cannot wait to read it, and I really, really can't wait to knock this off of my TBR. All right, the next card that we have here is
A challenge card.
call a booktuber, have them pick a word, and read a book with that word in the title. So I have a booktuber waiting on standby because I know some of the cards in this deck do involve me having to reach out to a booktuber. And the booktuber that I have waiting on standby is Tahira of Sincerely Tahiri, who you know, if you've been watching this channel for any amount of time, you know that I love her to death, and I'm so, so excited that she said yes, that she's willing to like wait around and see if I need her. So I am going to FaceTime Tahira, and we will see what word she gives me.
Answer the phone.
I legit thought you weren't gonna answer. I was like,
I called you in my time of need.
Hi, what's up everybody? How y'all doing?
you look so casual and cozy. I'm just dying. I need you to pick a word. You can pick any word. I wouldn't make it too extravagant, but don't pick like supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
We're not doing that. Like any word? Like,
I'm unfollowing you, like.
just block me after this. Oh my god. I'm thinking like road. I don't know why.
Okay.
Road. That's my word.
Okay.
Oh, fuck.
Fuck. Okay. I have any books that have road in the title? Wait, I might have a road book. Maybe. We're gonna look. Yeah, you might need to pick a new word, cause
You're around my house.
1 hour later.
I'm still trying to find one. Yeah.
I guess easy. Let's do life. Is that easier? Life?
Life.
Yeah.
Okay. We're gonna do life.
Fuck.
If this doesn't work, just give me like one more try.
No, I can do this. I can do this. My problem is like my shelf. I only have one shelf and my books are double stacked. So, but we're gonna fucking figure this shit out.
1 hour later.
Okay. Just gonna take all the damn books off the shelf. If that's what it takes. That's what it takes.
Honestly, I'm thinking, I thought of one very specific book, and I don't even know if you have it, but I know that I want to read it.
What?
The book is Get a Life the Way Around by Elizabeth. Anna from Samaya Booktopia is reading it. Well, she just read it, and she was like, it was amazing.
Really?
Yes, I was like, I want to read it so bad.
The sequel looks really cute. Damn it! I was close. That's light, not life. God damn it!
1 hour later.
I like my this is your third try. I'm gonna hang up, figure it out.
Wait! Alright, take 3. We can
Last word, the last quality content.
Oh my
The last
God.
word is love. Very basic, very generic. We're just gonna go with love.
We couldn't have started with that one. I'm never calling you for anything again. Like,
Don't call me. I was just trying to add a little bit of, difficulty to, the challenge.
Just because I want this moment to end, I'm gonna pick the first book that I see, and that's Frankly in Love.
David Yoon is like my unofficial father. I saw him and Nicola Yoon at BookCon, and they were just talking about their relationship, and then I ended up like asking them a question, and then I was like fangirling, and I almost cried.
Cute.
I want to read Frankly in Love so bad. I haven't read it. I'm so happy I got picked. Wow. I'm proud of myself. I'm like, oh my god. Should have started with that.
Yes, you should have. Tahira.
Is this really your thing? Like kind of sappy contemporary?
It's not my thing at all, but it was sent to me back when Book of the Month was like sending booktubers free books.
Yeah.
You know?
Not trash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why it's on my shelves. I don't know. I'll probably send it to you when I'm done with it if you want it.
Listen. Don't tease me. This is not a joke, okay? Cut the camera. This is not a game anymore. Cut.
Yeah, I'll send it to you when I'm done.
Please annotate it. Please annotate it.
Okay, I will send you a custom annotated copy.
This is gonna be amazing.
Everyone's like, probably like,
can we get back to the video? Like,
So sorry for this brief intermission. You're welcome. I feel like Frankly in Love is amazing. But
would you like to give a synopsis to the...
yeah, I didn't even what is it about? Okay, so Frankly in Love follows this guy, Frank Lee, and I believe he's first or second generation Korean American, and his parents are kind of strict and they really want him to marry another Korean girl, and so he acts like he's dating the Korean girl, but he actually has a white girlfriend, so it's like a fake dating trope. And the Korean girl that he's fake dating also has a non-Korean boyfriend, so they're just like family friends. They're like, yeah, we're gonna fool our parents, like whatever, but things get a little messy when they start to actually catch feelings for each other.
Ooh.
And that's all I know.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh, thank you, Tahira, for your... for your synopsis. Okay.
we need to end this. Like,
Thank you for having me. I'm honored. Enjoy your video.
Thank you. All right, I'll talk to you on Instagram after this.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, time for the next card.
This is not gonna happen. I'm gonna tell you that right now, it's not gonna happen.
This is the old school card. Go to the library, browse the stacks, and pick a book you have never heard of. Yeah, I don't know about y'all, but every library in my city is
On lockdown.
so this is gonna have to wait. Let's just put that back in the deck and pick another one. Okay. Replace it with this card. This is the Gandalf card. Read a book with an elder protagonist. Oh my god, I have the perfect book. And it was recently gifted to me by a friend, and that is The Storied Life of A.J. Thickery. I have heard amazing things about this book. It's one of those books I think that was really big in like the 2010 kind of era. This is about a very grumpy, curmudgeon-y old man named A.J. Thickery who runs a bookstore. Sadly, his bookstore is in ruins and sales are at an all-time low. However, he holds on to his most prized possession, which is an incredibly rare collection of poems by Edgar Allan Poe. Then one day, AJ receives a mysterious package that makes its way to the bookstore, and the contents of this package turns his life upside down. Now, I'm excited about this because I hear it's one of those books that has like a story within a story, and it has an elder protagonist. I think that a lot of us do pretty poor jobs of reading books with protagonists that are over the age of 35. And so I put this card in the deck to kind of remind me that life takes place after the age of 35, that there are so many different kinds of stories to tell. I'm actually really, really excited to read this book. It is not too long. It's 251 pages. 3 more cards left.
Things were going so well.
Fuck. Act it out. Make a bookish skit. I was really hoping I could get away without having to do a challenge card in this TBR. This is my second one. If one of these cards is a challenge card,
I'm gonna delete my channel.
give me bookish skit suggestions down below. I have some skits that I have been wanting to make for quite some time written down, so I might just pull out one of those. But if there's something that you would really like me to make, just let me know. 2 cards to go. Pray for me that these are going to be quick and easy. This prompt was given to me by The Lost Reader, so thank you so much for this. This is the random card. Use a random number generator to choose a book from your Goodreads TBR. Pretty stoked about this. My only thing is I hope that whatever book that I pick is easily accessible because our library is closed and I'm out of work right now and I'm not eligible for unemployment. If it is a book that like I have to buy, I might have to do something else because I don't know when I'm gonna be able to go back to work, and like the struggle is real. I know the struggle is real for so many of us. I have 209 books on my to read list. I'm going to put 209 into the random number generator, and then we're gonna hit generate. 182. Let's see what my 182nd book is. Okay. Okay. Random number generator picked The Study of Animal Languages by Lindsay Stern. I will see if I can find it at like a really affordable price.
1 hour later.
I tried to find an affordable paperback copy online and couldn't. I also checked Scribd because I have a membership, as well as my library, and my library didn't have an ebook. So I did all of this and then completely just forgot to tell you about it in the video. That's why you get to see me in my literal pajamas
That I've been wearing for 3 days.
Since I pulled the number 182, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the first shelf. I'm going to then go 8 books over and 2 books back. And that book is the book that I will pick to read as long as I haven't already read it. If I have read it, then I'll go to the second shelf. Here is my top shelf. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 2 books back. So the book that meets that criteria is Consider the Platypus, which is a book that is about the origin of various species. I don't think this is going to be like a really exciting book to review on BookTube. Like seriously, this is literally a textbook. So I don't think y'all really want to review. So I grabbed the book that is next to this one, and that is The Faded Sky by Mary Robinette Kowal. I am very excited to be reading the sequel to The Calculating Stars. When I started my channel in 2018, I read The Calculating Stars right when it came out, and it was the very, very first book that I ever stand on my YouTube channel. I think it's the only dedicated book review I've ever made to this day. I raved about this book. I was like begging everybody and their mother to read it. And this is the sequel, which came out last year, and the final book in the trilogy came out this year. It's right here. It's called The Relentless Moon, and it was just sent to me by the publisher. So I'm really, really freaking excited. This is a story that is set in the 1950s, and we are following a woman named Elma, who is a brilliant rocket scientist and mathematician. Enter a natural disaster, and now the people of Earth need to find a new home and are trying to colonize the moon. Elma is a white Jewish woman, and she also struggles very, very severely with anxiety and panic attacks that she's having to hide because the men of NASA are going to use her mental illness to further discredit her. I love that there's so many layers in book one. I believe this book takes place about 6 years after the events in book one, and I don't know if they will have successfully colonized space yet. It looks like they might be. One thing I really appreciated about book one is they talked so much about anti-Semitism, but also the struggles that Black people and Black women and Black scientists were facing during this day. And there were a lot of times throughout book one where Elma had to have her white privilege checked, and she grew so much as a character, and I just think that Mary Kowal did an amazing job. Okay, so I just took a little peek of the synopsis on the back, and the year now is 1961. The moon has successfully been colonized. There's a dangerous exploration mission that the women are being kept out of because it's too dangerous. There are mid-journey navigation calculations that are needed, and these calculations are too complex for an electronic computer. The computers are unreliable and not easily programmed, which is why they have selected human computers, and they are all women. The women of book one are finally getting to go out into space and explore, and we're finding out what's happening in this book. I'm so excited to see what happens with some of the characters in particular. I'm freaking stoked.
One more card to go.
This is probably one of the favorite cards that I've designed. It is called the Fuck This card. Read a book from your TBR that you are unsure about, aka a book you are interested in reading but are not certain you will actually like. I have decided to pick The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern. I have heard incredible things about Erin Morgenstern's writing. The Night Circus is one of the most precious and beloved books on BookTube. This gorgeous copy was sent to me by Elliot over at the Fifth Elliot for Christmas. I am intrigued by what I've heard regarding the writing and the story. I'm going to go in as absolutely blind as possible, so I'm not going to give a synopsis, but I do know that it is fantasy. I think it is adult fantasy, correct me if I'm wrong, and that BookTube was raving about it all through the end of last year. I am interested in the lyrical writing. It's supposed to have amazing world building and to be something you can just really get lost into, which is what I'm craving and looking for. But I don't have the greatest track record with hyped books. If you watched any of my rant reviews last year, you know that, yeah, hyped books and
we're not Gucci.
Only 26% of hyped books that I read in 2019 were ones I actually enjoyed. I'm apprehensive about this, but we're gonna see how it goes. Okay, you know what? This isn't bad. I only have 6 books to read for my April Jesse's Deck of TBR. That's doable. I feel like we can make this happen. In the comment section down below, let me know what you think of the cards that I have pulled, which of the books you're excited for me to read and give y'all feedback on. I'm actually really excited, and I feel very good about this TBR, and I'm excited to have a little bit of structure to my reading, and that'll give me like something to actively work towards each day. Thank you for watching another Bow Ties and Books production. If you liked this video, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I would absolutely love it if you became a part of my dapper family. All of my social media links will be in the description box below. Stay inside and stay safe, and I can't wait to see you in my next one.